Hey guys, it's Jen and I am here to talk about tofu. Tofu is actually nothing but fermented soybeans, which I know doesn't sound fabulous, but let me tell you, it is a great ingredient. It has all of the essential amino acids that you would get from a meat product, so it's a great source of protein, but it's plant-based. What that means is there's no cholesterol, very little fat, very few carbohydrates, so it's a very lean, very easy to work with ingredients. So what we're going to do today is we're going to make a baked tofu. This is one of the most basic types of recipes. And what I have here are 2 cubes of tofu that I've bought and I've already pressed them. I'll admit I've skipped this step sometimes, but if you really want the best texture out of your tofu, take the tofu out of the package. It will be in water. Take that out, press it between, you can use towels, paper towels, and then just set something really heavy on top. I used some of my cast iron bakeware to set on top of it and just let it sit for 15-20 minutes and get as much of the liquid out of the tofu as possible. What that means is it's going to have room to absorb whatever it is that you cook it in. You can also, if you want to prep it ahead, marinate the tofu overnight in whatever it is that you want to marinate it in. It really is a great ingredient because on its own it has a very subtle flavor and it takes on whatever flavors you use. So today I'm actually going to use some of my favorite flavors, just some Italian seasoning, some garlic powder. I'm going to use a little bit of my liquid aminos, which is very similar to a soy sauce. Very little olive oil, just enough to coat that, and then I love salt and pepper on just about everything. So now that I have the tofu already pressed, I've got a lot of that liquid pressed out of it. I'm just gonna take it, put it into really small cubes. So depending on how you want to use this, you can chop it up however you like. I'm gonna put it really, really small. Bakes a little faster that way. And I like the texture. All right, so now I have my tofu all cut up. I've put it in a mixing bowl. So I'm gonna add in, and of course I never measure anything. I'm just gonna eyeball it. Just a little drizzle of olive oil. Not much because I've already sprayed my baking pan. And my liquid aminos. Quite a bit of that. Now this has a lot of sodium and a lot of salty flavors. So if you use a soy sauce or a liquid amino, you're gonna cut back on the amount of salt that you add when you're seasoning. And then quite a bit of seasoning. And of course you can flavor this to taste. If you don't like Italian seasoning, you can use whatever it is that you like. Said tofu has such a bland flavor on its own. It doesn't have a very strong flavor. You can basically use whatever it is that you prefer. I've also used curries, sesame, all kinds of things. I'm just gonna mix that around. And once you have it laid out there, I'll sprinkle it with a little bit of extra black pepper. And like I said, because of the sodium level, I'm only going to use just a pinch of salt for some added flavor. I'm going to pop this into the oven at 425. It'll bake for about half an hour to 40 minutes, depending on how big you've chopped up your tofu and how much of the moisture that you got out when you pressed it. So just keep an eye on it. Once it gets that nice golden brown color to it, you're good. You pop it out of the oven, let it cool, and enjoy.